I woke up to the sound of glass shattering. It was 2 a.m., and the sound wasn't just loud, it was violent. My heart jumped, and I froze, every muscle in my body refusing to move. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps coming from the direction of my living room. I should have called the police right then. But curiosity, or maybe fear, got the better of me. I crept out of bed and peeked down the hallway. That's when I saw her. Tola. She was standing in the dim light of the street lamp shining through the shattered window. In her hand was a crowbar, glinting faintly. She looked up, and for a moment, our eyes met. "You thought you could escape me, didn't you?" she said, her voice unnervingly calm. "You thought you could just toss me aside like trash. Let me take you back to how it all started." Tola and I met at a mutual friend's wedding. She was the kind of person who turned heads as soon as she entered the room. She wasn't just beautiful, she had this energy about her, like she owned every space she walked into. Her laugh was infectious, her wit sharp. She was impossible to ignore. We clicked almost instantly. By the end of the night, we were inseparable. We danced, talked about everything from politics to our favorite childhood memories, and exchanged numbers. For weeks after that, she filled my life with color. Every date was an adventure, late-night drives, impromptu picnics, or simply sitting in my apartment and talking for hours. It wasn't long before I was head over heels. I thought I'd found the one. The first 6 months were perfect. Tola made me feel like the center of her universe. She'd surprise me with homemade meals, send me good morning texts before I even woke up, and plan these elaborate date nights that always felt magical. My friends teased me, saying I'd been caught, but I didn't care. I loved her. But slowly, little things started to change. At first, I brushed them off. Relationships aren't perfect, right? She'd get upset if I didn't text back immediately, even if I was at work. If I spent time with my friends without her, she'd sulk and ask, "Why didn't you invite me?" She'd insist it was because she loved me so much and hated being apart from me. I believed her. I didn't see it for what it was, control. The first real fight we had was over a text message from my college friend, Amara. We'd been friends for years, and it was just a casual, "How are you doing?" kind of conversation. But when Tola saw the message, her reaction shocked me. "Who is this?" she demanded, waving my phone in my face. "She's just a friend," I said, trying to calm her down. "We've known each other since university." "Just a friend," she scoffed. "Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I don't see what's going on?" "No, Tola, nothing is going on. She's married, for God's sake." But she wouldn't listen. She called Amara, right there in front of me, and told her to stay away from me. I was mortified. Amara, understandably, stopped talking to me after that. Tola apologized later, saying she was just scared of losing me because she loved me so much. I forgave her. Looking back, that was my mistake. Over the next year, her behavior became more erratic. She'd show up unannounced at my workplace to check on me. She'd accuse me of flirting with cashiers or waitresses, even when I barely made eye contact. She once scrolled through my phone while I was asleep, then woke me up at 3 a.m. to confront me about an old conversation with an ex, years before I even met her. I started feeling trapped, but I couldn't leave. Every time I tried to pull away, she'd cry, beg, and promise to change. And for a while, she would. Things would go back to normal, and I'd convince myself that maybe, just maybe, she was getting better. But then it would happen again. And again. The final straw came during my cousin's wedding. Tola wasn't invited because my cousin didn't like how she treated me. I didn't tell Tola that, I just said it was a small family-only affair. But she found out anyway. She showed up uninvited, dressed in a stunning red gown that drew every eye in the room. She caused a scene. She accused me of trying to hide her, of being ashamed of her. She called my cousin a jealous, bitter woman and stormed out. I spent the rest of the night apologizing to my family. The next day, I ended it. I told her I couldn't do it anymore. She cried, screamed, and begged me to stay, but I stood my ground. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. For weeks after the breakup, she bombarded me with messages. At first, they were apologetic. I'm sorry. I do better. Please take me back. But when I didn't respond, they turned darker. You regret this. You don't know who you're messing with. I blocked her number, but she found ways to reach me, new numbers, fake social media accounts, even handwritten notes left on my car. My friends told me to go to the police, but I didn't want to escalate things. I just wanted her to move on. But she didn't. That brings me back to the night she broke into my house. Seeing her standing there, holding that crowbar, I felt a mix of fear and heartbreak. This was the woman I once loved. How had it come to this? Tola, put it down, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. You think you can just walk away from me? After everything I've done for you. I tried to reason with her, but she wasn't listening. She swung the crowbar at a table, smashing it into splinters. You don't get to leave me. You don't get to be happy without me. Somehow, I managed to grab my phone and call the police. They arrived just as she was about to smash the television. She was arrested, screaming my name as they dragged her away. It's been 6 months since that night. Tola is in a psychiatric facility now, getting the help she needs. I've started therapy too, trying to process everything that happened. Looking back, I see the red flags I ignored, the possessiveness, the control, the jealousy. I stayed because I thought love meant sacrifice. But real love doesn't make you feel small. It doesn't make you afraid. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this: never ignore the warning signs. Love can make you blind, but it shouldn't make you lose yourself. If you're in a relationship that feels more like a prison than a partnership, walk away. It's not worth your peace or your safety.